Hello, everyone. So I'm gonna talk about Moveworks. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna make a small intro about myself. I work as a developer. I'm currently working for the local government in the city of Santa Monica. I do most of ServiceNow development, and lately I've been working with doing Moveworks development. So today I'm gonna speak about like what is agentic AI, and I'm gonna be a bit clear on here. I'm not here to promote ServiceNow. I'm here to tell you if it's worth it to acquire Moveworks or if it's not worth it to acquire Moveworks in this session. Uh, this is gonna depend on your organization if you guys looking to invest money on Moveworks or not at the end of the day. So first of all, I'm gonna start talking about what is exactly agentic AI here, and what a best way to say this than showing you an example. On the left side, you're gonna see a chatbot. Usually nowadays, the chatbot organizations they have is about like you ask a question to the chatbot, and this chatbot might bring you a fake response, or not always a fake response, but an inaccurate response. Like for example, how many vacation hours do I have left? And the chatbot has replied with, "Hey, I only have 47 articles, so you can go over these articles and find how many hours of PTO or vacations you have." However, agentic AI is the integration with your third-party applications, their enterprise applications. These third-party applications can mean you can provide them with a finance aspect, you can provide them with an HR aspect, and based on the business needs, you can decide which enterprise application you can use. For example, a more specific example would be how many vacations hours do I have left? And based on whoever is going to ask that question, you're going to have that response based on your profile. For example, the response I'm going to get from my bot as Teo is going to be different from the response that a third person is going to get. Like in my case, I have, for example, if I ask that bot, hey, how many vacation hours I have, it's going to give me the specific number based on my profile. And same thing with other person. It's going to give you a specific number based on that person profile. Now, that's pretty much agentic AI. Some people, they make it sound that it's hard. So it's like there's more processing there, but it's pretty simple. So now you have that knowledge, so don't let other people fool you. And here is important. This is one of the things I want to mention about Moveworks. What exactly is Moveworks? And I want to point here because this is important. Moveworks is going to be the AI provider. Okay? It's going to be like ChatGPT, it's going to be like Cloud, it's going to be like Grok, everything. But one thing about Moveworks is not going to train their LLM with your prompt. So whatever you're going to be prompting in Moveworks, it's going to be just within your organization. They're not going to train the model. Even though I'm going to give you here a key, a secret. Moveworks is using Azure, uh, Azure OpenAI agent for their LLM. So that's something they don't specify, but I'm giving you here the key. So pretty much, if you acquire Moveworks, your data is going to be secure. And here I'm going to be very specific. I guys do want you to understand this. What exactly is Moveworks? Moveworks can be implemented with any of your chat or your team chatbot chat application. Could be Teams, could be Slack, could be Google Chat, could be even your portal, your ServiceNow portal. It could be your Meta Workplace, WhatsApp. Any of these applications can be integrated with Moveworks. So when you write a prompt to the bot, it's gonna go directly to Moveworks, and in Moveworks you have to set up which third-party application you want to set up with. You can set up with UKG, SailPoint, Workday, SAP, Snowflake, and many other third-party enterprise applications. At the end, based on the data that you have in any of these applications, you're gonna be provided a different response. It's gonna go back to your favorite channel in your organization, and then you're gonna get that response back. You can use like an HR portal. SailPoint is identity governance administration. Workdays is more like HR finance application. SAP is more like finance application, and Snowflake is more like a repository for all data. So based on those applications that you have, you can think of like multiple use cases on your mind, how I can automate this process for my employees, so that way they don't go to the application and they come back. One thing about Moveworks, I'm gonna go here. Okay, actually no, it's a giveaway time. So here I'm gonna give away three. I'm gonna give AWS gift cards. So for the first questions, I want people to reply on the comments, please. Okay, I want you guys to write down question 1, question 2, and question 3. Okay, for question, if you got the response, please, the first, you write down the question number and the response. And the first people who actually answer correctly is gonna get I'm gonna DM them directly, and they're gonna get the response, the gift card for AWS. Yeah, we have the first question reply correctly. Rabi, I'm gonna DM you later so you can get a free gift card, a free AWS gift card. For question 2, guys, question 2 and question 3, whoever gets the correct answers, I'm gonna give them a free AWS gift card. All right, question 3. Game 3. Nothing. That's correct. So we only have question 2. Who's gonna reply? Maximilian to be. No, we still have question 2. Question 2. Who else can answer question 2? Have winners with question 1 and question 3. No, question 2. Okay, we have a winner for question 2. Okay, it's gone. Rabi, Ken, and Goku Kulmark. I'm gonna DM you later, so stay there. Thank you for answering. Now let's go for the next one. So here's another thing. In Moveworks, you're gonna have they provide you a marketplace to connect with these third-party applications. So, and this is very important. Some of those in Moveworks, you're gonna have plugins. And for example, you're gonna have plugins where you're gonna have the option that says install, and some others you're gonna have the option that says build. On those plugins that they say install, they are out of the box. You can trust these plugins. Like, they're gonna give you all the business logic for you to pretty much put it on your instance. You don't need to do any development. It's pretty easy to set up. However, those plugins that you have within Moveworks Marketplace, build, the option build, those are the plugins that you will have to do some development, customized development. So you are gonna need a developer. Why? Because these plugins, they don't provide you any endpoint. They don't provide you any body response for your API. So you will have to figure it out. Here comes like more a development aspect. So be careful whenever you work with build plugins. Those are more technical for development people. And here I'm going to go a little bit deeper in development. So I'm going to be very fast in this one. So Mover has its own language. They call it DSL. As in this slide, you can see DSL is just their language. Like, for example, the first variable, it says filter. You can, based on an array, you can filter the information. The second example is a date format, is no. So this is just a timestamp. It's a timestamp. Same thing, you're going to have your console, like any IDE or like any developer tool. Moveworks, they also provide you that kind of functions. And you can use this DSL syntax within these modules: conversational processes, HTTP actions, compound actions, and listeners. Those are modules. Same thing like ServiceNow equivalent, where you have multiple modules like OAuth and things like that. Moveworks is going to provide you different modules: conversational processes, HTTP actions. So the DSL language, it can be used here within the Moveworks modules. And hey, come on, we are developers. We have to use a CI/CD integration for everything we do. That way we can keep a clean lifecycle management within our applications. So what you want to, you have to grab your API request for Moveworks for those API that are going to be connecting to your third-party applications, and you're going to generate a contract testing based on the body that you're going to do your request, and you're going to set up that API request with your CI/CD provider. It could be GitHub Actions, could be Azure data pipeline or Azure pipeline, they call it. You can say that with your AWS Code Summit, I think they call it on AWS, or Jenkins. It depends on your provider. One thing to mention though, there's no such a thing like unit testing on Moveworks. Why? Because they haven't got to that point yet. So in Moveworks, there's no such a thing like DSL testing, which would be the equivalent to a unit testing. We don't have such function yet. However, if it comes in the future, it should be very helpful to implement DSL testing. But at the moment, you can just implement the contract testing with your CI/CD provider, and that way you can verify whenever if your current plugin, the ones that have been built by a developer, are currently working, or there's like a fail status or things like that. Oh, this one is a big one. So people were telling me like, hey, so what's gonna happen? Like we have you remember, guys, I told you that Moveworks is gonna be the front door at the beginning. You guys remember that? So actually, it's not the front door anymore, because now you're gonna have employee works, which is the service now, because that's the main reason why ServiceNow has acquired Moveworks. Everything's gonna work behind employee works. Employee works is gonna be able to call your Moveworks conversational processes, so all your logic is gonna be on Moveworks. However, your prompting is not gonna be anymore of your. It could be your Teams channel, it could be your Slack channel. However, ServiceNow is trying to push people to use Employee Works, his own portal. Why? Because you can use Employee Works with Moveworks. You can use Employee Works for your Now Assist. Is different. Now Assist and AI Experience is different, guys. ServiceNow has Now Assist and AI Experience. Now Assist is more like for the builder, like developer, and the AI Experience is based on a different model that's gonna be helpful on how you're gonna build within ServiceNow. So it's two different things. Keep in mind, it's not the same thing. So they integrating the three things: Moveworks engine, Now Assist, and your AI Experience. And everything is going to be connected with Employee Works. Now, where's going to be the governance of such many AI for developers? All the governance is going to be in the AI control tower. That's where you're going to handle your models. That's where you're going to be able, you're going to be able to handle your Moveworks conversational processes in a future. That's the plan. On the future, they want to invest. They want to bring the Moveworks business logic within the AI control tower. So you're gonna have both functions. You're gonna have both. You can do, as a developer, I can do the development within the Moveworks instance, or I can do the Moveworks development within the AI control tower. So I'm gonna have both options. Right now, the AI control tower is only giving you options to build agents, and you can do the orchestration of your agents, which is amazing. It has been very advanced. However, in the future, that's what we're looking to implement. That's what they're looking to implement. And finally, folks, I'm gonna close the event right now. I'm gonna close the event. If you guys really interested in learning more about Moveworks, I'm leaving here some links, which is the Moveworks Academy. Unfortunately, you have to be a client to learn by yourself with Moveworks Academy. That's the URL in there. That might not work for you. I mean, it might work. You're gonna go access, but the email you're gonna sign up with, they're not gonna give you access to learn. It's the equivalent to ServiceNow University. It just Moveworks Academy. Same thing, but unfortunately, you need to have a work email access. However, the one that's free and anyone can sign up with their email, with their personal email, is the community. In the community, you can engage with people. Is very similar to the ServiceNow Slack channel, where you can ask questions, you can ask help. I'm gonna be there actually in the community. I'll be helping and replying your questions if you have there. And it's open to everybody. So guys, my name is Teo Gamarra. That's my personal webpage. If you guys want to take a look of my personal projects, a little bit about myself, you guys take a look in there. And on the first message I drop in this chat, you will guys see the presentation in there, this current presentation that I have in there. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jeremy. I can see great session there. Thank you, Theo. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for being there. And thank you, everybody, for being here with me. Goodbye.